Good evening and welcome to Heartland Farms Field here on the beautiful campus of Amherst High School as we get you ready for some conference girls soccer here this evening between the visiting Assumption Royals and the home Amherst Falcons. Good evening, everyone. Steve Mays alongside Mike Welly and Katie Leckton on this beautiful Friday night here in central Wisconsin as the Assumption Royals look to continue their undefeated season and the Amherst Falcons trying to put a exclamation mark on their 2022 campaign. And talked to Coach Wendels from Assumption earlier when I went down to the field. It feels like a early September Friday night football kind of night. Just perfect weather, and it has a big conference game feel.
Absolutely. We're going to be playing under the lights on one of the best fields in the state of Wisconsin between two teams that have seen each other before. They know each other well, and they respect each other.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what Coach Wendels had mentioned. Coach Wendels was not at the first game that they played. Assumption won that one 3-1 about 10 days or 2 weeks ago or so. And the Assumption Royals coming in at an undefeated mark. Amherst has taken a couple of losses, but a team that on this field has only lost one game, and that was to the second team of the conference in Regis McDonald.
And that game was really just a 1-0 game until the 71st minute. That was, I think, their fifth game of that week. They got tired.
Yep.
And Coach B said as much that they just got tired.
Yeah.
And so they should be fresher for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Assumption hasn't played, what did they say, Friday? They haven't played since Tuesday. Amherst played last night against a good Merrill team, but came away with a win.
But that was when our Coach B said also, but they won comfortably enough that they were able to rotate players in a lot. So they should be a lot fresher. And also, that game against Regis was extremely hot.
Yeah.
They had to take breaks halfway through each half to get water and get breaks, and that threw off Amherst's momentum that they had. And they kind of stumbled from there every time out of those timeouts. Whereas in a day like this where it's going to be fairly chilly comparatively, a nice night, that's not going to be an issue. So fatigue shouldn't be any sort of problem. What does make me interested for the Falcons is that they do not have their starting goalkeeper, Ella Miller, not starting. Ella Thompson, who's a capable tender in her own right, but she doesn't have quite the length or quite the reflexes yet of what Ella Miller had progressed throughout the year, because she got hurt in that Regis game. She did come back, but I don't think she was 100% afterwards, and the goal went in later on. But that's a big loss against a team like Assumption who can, it seems like at times, score at will.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of those where they have done just that. A couple last week against Watoma Wild Rose, who Amherst has taken care of pretty handily a couple of times. They scored, I think, 6 goals in the last half of the first half and really put that one away early on senior night when the seniors got to play in the first half. The first half of the game. So we'll see. Assumption very fast, Amherst very fast. Two very, very physical teams going at it here tonight on a gorgeous Friday night here in central Wisconsin.
And again, you kind of have the Assumption. I've seen Amherst a lot, and that's kind of their thing as well. They can score quickly as well, but a lot of it's going to be keyed by a lot of their seniors. Lily Barthel especially and Alyssa Tapp will kind of carry the load. But when you look at Assumption, they are very fast, but they're also not very big. Amherst very long striding.
Yep.
So if you can get anything up the sidelines, they have a good chance, especially with the Peterson sisters as well, Sage and Leah, who are going to play a lot of that, the midfield and wing. But it looks like Assumption's going to start with it.
Sarah Shaw will kick it off from left to right. Go the Assumption Royals. Kayla Kirkman, who's going to Madison Edgewood to play soccer next fall. As early, Vollert's going to get that one cleared out, and Amherst, which we saw a lot in that first matchup where Amherst was on the back heels quite a bit.
Yeah, Leah Peterson trying to step back a little bit more of a defensive role than her usual attacking position as a midfielder. She gets back very well defensively as that one goes wide. She's someone who they're going to trust, who Coach Spees trusts a lot in every scenario. They'll have her go forward and go on the rush, but they'll have her get back and play more of a defensive role. And she is probably the most fundamentally sound player on this Falcons team. And she's going to be the player to watch next year. Her and her sister Sage.
And you'll see it a lot tonight as Kendall Dillman's got it with the right foot and in. Early goal in the first minute, 51 seconds in. And a strike from Kendall Dillman to put the Royals up 1-0.
It is an absolutely perfect shot up into the upper left corner. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if Manute Bowl is goaltending. That is absolutely picture perfect placement, and there's no way you can defend that. That's just beautiful passing and beautiful finish.
That's exactly right. I mean, that is a tremendous shot. No matter what level of soccer you're playing, to go from the far right side of the box to slam it into the top left corner, that was just about perfection for Kendall Dillman, her 24th goal of the year for Assumption.
And for fans who can't wait for her to leave, that's not going to be happening anytime in the next 2 years.
Yeah, she's
still only a sophomore.
Yeah, the two of the top scorers for Assumption, Kendall Dillman and Sarah Shaw, just sophomore and freshman. Sarah coming in at 30 goals, Kendall at 24 now for the Royals. They do have a huge senior class, though.
Again, nice move that time. The Assumption looking for another one, but Jenna Pinter now stepping back a little bit more in a defensive role. She's usually one of the primary midfielders as well. But Amherst a little bit out of sorts to get things started, trying to get used. Their typical attack is going to be up the sidelines, up the wings, and then trying to get one through. But so far, Assumption doing a pretty good job defending those. Now Alexa Schulford trying to get a run over to Barthol, and there's a lot of length and speed in that duo. And now we have a potential, but just outrun by Izzy Youngworth. She just got there. If not, that would have been a 2-on-0.
Yeah, and Izzy is one of those players that senior leader on that back line for Coach Wendell's. That she's been doing it for 4 years now at the varsity level, and just trying to will her team again. Morgan Reichel's been challenged 4 times really this year. One of them was against Amherst, and the only conference goal that Assumption has given up this year.
There's a low shot. That's going to be just cleared out and actually set up a corner for the Falcons, who get now a big chance here. They haven't been super successful with their corners, but they've gotten some looks, and they have probably their most accurate striker taking it with Sage Peterson. And they're sending everybody on a rush to the box to try and get a header in, but it's not there.
Mally Steinley headed that one away. Ferrara again still in the box and centers it in, and Morgan Reichel will track it down for Assumption. Before that corner, Clara Kubis cleared it out when it was rolling right to Morgan Reichel. And
that's definitely a miscommunication. Yeah. And now Alyssa Tapp for the Falcons, one of the senior leaders for this team, one of the captains who we've talked to a couple of times this year.
Alyssa played a lot of defense in the first half defense against Assumption in their first matchup.
She's definitely the strongest legged probably person on this field. She can bury it from 40 yards.
A couple of seating meetings have come and gone for girls soccer. The one that has been released was Mosinee and Amherst. Amherst got a 3 seed, and they will take on
Medford
here in Amherst. Again, those begin, I think, on the 31st, the Tuesday after Memorial Day.
Then it looks like a trip up to Ashland would be on the docket.
Ashland was phenomenal last year. Just missed out on a trip to state.
And congratulations, you won your first regional game. You're making a 4-hour drive up.
There's a lot of awesome nicknames in Wisconsin high school sports. The Ordockers is probably one of the best.
That's definitely up there for sure.
The Ashland Ordockers. There's a lot of good ones. A lot of unique ones.
There's no doubt. There's plenty of good ones here in central Wisconsin still.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
I mean, one of my favorites is still always going to be the Tri-County Penguins.
Yeah. I mean, Hortonville's not in the central Wisconsin area, but the Polar Bears.
Yeah, the Polar Bears are great. The Clintonville Truckers.
Yeah. Really, except at a zoo, no penguins and no polar bears in central Wisconsin.
At least I hope not. Just over 5 minutes in, 1-0 Royals on the Dillman goal. As Amherst starting to get a little bit more possession, though, these last couple of minutes. They're starting to really step it up a touch. And they're starting to, I think they're starting to find their legs a little bit. They started out a little sluggish, and Assumption was able to, again, capitalize 51 seconds in. But since then, it's been pretty much on this side of the field.
So even going back to that, if they're able to knock off Ashland, then they have to turn around the next week and go up to Lakeland, most likely.
Over to Minocqua?
Yeah, Lakeland's at 11-2 on the year, but
Minocqua's not nearly as long of a trip as Ashland, because Ashland, you're almost into another country at that point.
So regionals start on the 31st, as Morgan Reichel will call off Izzy Youngworth and take it herself.
And there's the good communication that they didn't have that led to the corner earlier.
Reichel booms it away. Tap takes it for the Falcons.
Good play that time by Leah Peterson. Her and Tap are a pretty good duo, and they trying to get it forward, but too far that time for Sage Peterson, and it'll go out of bounds.
I remember when these Amherst Iola first co-opted 10 years ago or so when I was in high school, that they really started coming up with girls soccer, more so a club sport then. But they've gone to full Amherst uniforms now. They used to be blue and pink. And
the Thunder Falcons.
Yeah, was that what it was?
I think for a little bit, I think the coach said that they were the Thunder Falcons.
That's awesome.
Which would have been the greatest nickname ever. Of course, you being a former Falcon, me being a former Thunderbird.
Yeah, not so much at times, but.
We didn't always get along.
I mean, like
there was mutual respect.
Sarah Shaw trying to clear it out. She does,
and she is extremely fast.
Claire gets past.
Llewellyn with a great stop, though. Great coverage by Llewellyn, and a good save by Thompson.
That was a wonderful defensive job by Amherst getting back.
And you're not. We talk about the speed of the Royals forwards. You're probably not going to find a faster defensive duo than Claire Llewellyn and Jen Omernick. Those two, they're not big, but they can absolutely fly, and they have spectacular recovery ability. Llewellyn showed it there, getting all the way back and catching up to Sarah Shaw, which is an incredible feat in its own right.
Yeah, absolutely. As Kendall Dillman set that one up, and now Amherst trying for a head of steam here.
Barthel and Schulfer, but is a little bit behind, and Barthel can't quite get onto it. And Barthel usually, back home for her, she's a defender.
Yep.
But she has become a top-tier forward here in mid-Wisconsin this year. Where she had a stretch of 3 games on this field. She had 8 goals in those 3 games, including a 90-second hat trick. I can think it was against Arcadia, I'm pretty sure.
We were talking about it before the
game.
Or
Mosinee, it might have been.
Izzy Youngworth saved it up, and now Amherst with a shot.
It's going to roll. Good look, just a bit wide from Tap.
Yeah, and that's a good indication on how Amherst has been able to control the ball the last couple of minutes on that shot for Amherst.
And that's one where you almost wish that if you're Amherst, you might have taken it back, because you might have had the angle to try and, when you had Reichel going to her right, if you can try and go back against the grain. There wasn't a defender there.
We were talking about it before the game, and the leading goal scorer in the state from Kiel High School, Taylor Schroeder, at 66 goals.
Which is just an absurd number.
I mean, you have to think they play maybe 16, 17 games at this point, and she's got 66 goals.
That means there's games where she's had 8 plus.
Yeah, that's as Clara Kubis now at the top of the box and tries to send it. Olive Wilson now for the Royals. Assumption should be at home the remainder of the 2022 season, getting what you would expect, a number 1 seed.
It would be a travesty if they weren't. Is it coaches seeding or is it computer seeding?
Coaches still, yeah.
I mean, they still should be, but if they're not, then we know why. Yeah,
that happened last year in the coaches seeding.
Barthel may have a step.
Does
she have the angle? Good save. She just stumbled a touch. Lily Barthel, again, the computer seating will be in next year.
Yep.
But again, Barthel, again, she had the step there, but just not quite enough to get around. She stumbled. There's again, very long-legged So at times you can get kind of tangled.
Amherst will track it down. Throw in coming for Assumption. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Solaris. With so much of our lives riding on the internet these days, choosing a provider you know and trust has become more important than ever. Solaris Fiber Network is the fastest technology available. It's more reliable than cable internet, provides equal upload and download speeds.
And a goal.
Sarah Shaw will put it in.
You talk about Solaris speed, Sarah Shaw. Speed of foot and speed of shot.
Yeah, just a little stumble there by Ella Thompson. Came off her hand, and Sarah Shaw was there to clean it up for the Royals in the 11th minute, 2-0 Assumption. All right, here, let's finish up here.
More from Solaris.
Solaris has been keeping Central Wisconsin connected for over 125 years and has the speed you need. Call, stop, in, or visit Solaris.net to learn more. Again, just those touch goals when everything seems to be going Amherst's way.
And now a chance for Barthel, and she gets tripped up, and she's down. And no whistle. She's still working her way back up.
And they're going to play on.
That was one where I was kind of surprised there wasn't anything there, at the very least just for an injured player.
Yeah, yep.
But I thought they were going to call a foul. That would have been a penalty kick.
And would have been a quick answer back by Amherst. And again, it was a good run. Morgan Reichel came out of the goal, and Barthel almost had her second one against Assumption this year.
And against the Royals, you have to play an almost perfect game. And when you give a shot like that, now an angle here, but good play by Amernick. But Shaw is now trying to get through. But again, a good step up that time. Look, that was Dylan Werchowski, one of the captains.
Dillman sends it in. And going to be cleared out by Amherst.
Schulfer too far behind Sage Peterson. Sage does keep it in, but turns it over. Now the Royals, again, really is good control, too. They control the ball very well. They're very touch as.
Kirkman wide right.
So we have a goal kick. So with that being said, we're going to take a quick 30-second timeout. We're back with more conference soccer after this on Zaleski Sports.
Hi, this is Van Patrick Oates from Rapids Awards and More. People ask, what is the more part of Awards and More? Well, that means that we're more than just an award store. We engrave glass, wood, plastic, guns, Yeti cups, medals, knives, and so much more. We're located on the web at awardsandmore.us. And if you're in the Wisconsin Rapids area, visit our physical store at 1210 Pepper Avenue or check us out on Facebook. Rapids Awards and More than just awards.
13 minutes gone by, 2-0 Royals, as the Amherst Falcons trying to answer back, but after we had a few minutes it tilted toward the Falcons' way, now it's really starting to tilt again toward Assumption.
Voller with it on the end line. Shaw again, left foot, and that's going to be knocked out, and a corner coming again for the Assumption Royals.
And Amherst doing a solid job defensively in the box. There's a couple perfect shots, too, that have gone in the net.
Yeah, that is to say the least. As we see Dr. Todd Dillman and Tara here for the Assumption Royals.
There's a save there from Thompson.
Pretty good crowd here on a Friday night.
Well, absolutely. There is a very passionate fan base here for the Falcons. It really is. It's always awesome to hear when it's warm enough to have the windows open, which hasn't always been the case this year. But it's always great to hear you hear the combos, you hear the cheers, the chants, and especially in some of the games when they were up big, you really felt the excitement.
Yeah, there's a lot to be excited for. A team like Amherst at now a number 2 seed, going to be, or 3 seed. Yeah, I don't know. I said 2. Number 3 seed hosting Medford. So I believe the 31st of May. Again, the Tuesday after Memorial Day.
Of course, congratulations goes out to all of the players on both teams who are going to be set to graduate as well.
Yeah.
They'll be playing after their graduation still, but a lot of that next week.
Yep. Yeah.
Columbus this week.
Yeah, Columbus Catholic graduates tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
A lot of schools Friday, Saturday, and Sunday next week. And then Memorial Day on Monday, and then the playoffs start on Tuesday.
And everything.
Softball started today, or yesterday, in some spots.
In some of the very early play-in type rounds.
Yeah, eight versus 9s, and then regional semifinals on Tuesday. It's getting to be that time again. I think we talked about it during the softball game we did a couple weeks ago
with Athens.
How quickly the spring sports season comes and goes because of how late it starts,
and also how much things get condensed due to weather. You're always at the mercy of weather, and especially in spring sports, you gotta wait for the snow to melt.
Yep.
And then for it to not snow again. And then, again, no more snow, and then you get rain, and and then next thing you know, it's May.
Yep. I mean, there were three storms last night that went through. I mean, it was early afternoon, and then...
And one this morning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just never know.
Well, it was even that you look at just this field itself. We had, I think it was 3 weeks ago, it was 50, maybe 50, 45 degrees. And then the game against Regis where it was 90.
Yeah, yep.
And the day before, while you had done baseball, where it was 95.
Yeah. And turf will always add 5 to 10 degrees hotter.
Especially when it's open. There's only bleachers on one side, really. So all that open air coming right in. But a night like tonight is perfect.
Yeah.
A touch humid, but you'll take it.
Absolutely. Take this over.
Maybe you had a handball called there.
30 degrees and snowing any day. This is perfect. Absolutely.
So free kick for Assumption here.
It is Friday night for the best fish fry around. Make it Silver Lake Lanes in Scandinavia. Family fun on the bowling lanes along with great food and all under one roof. That is Silver Lake Lanes in Scandinavia.
And someone who lives right near there. As there's another goal. So it's 3-0. Was that Dillman again?
Yep, Kendall Dillon.
At 17:05.
Dillon with her second goal.
So Dillman with the goal. So that being said, we're going to take a quick timeout again as we get reset for resumption. 3-0 Royals.
Little Sprouts is now open in Rudolph with the same great childcare you know about in Auburndale. Here's Brooke Sievers to tell us about it.
The community here in Rudolph has been extremely welcoming, and we're excited to serve here just like we do up in Auburndale. Part of the process is to help out the school districts and to help the children their 4K children to stay close and get services right here. We serve here in Rudolph 1-year-olds up until 12-year-olds, and up in Auburndale we serve 6 weeks old until 12-year-olds.
Our Auburndale pea pods, wiggle worms, busy bees, and fireflies welcome the Rudolph sweet potatoes, lovely ladybugs, and beautiful butterflies. Contact Little Sprouts Learning Garden on Facebook today.
17.5 minutes gone by as that one will pop toward the boxes. Alyssa Tapp tries to clear it back out. That's knocked down there. Once we get a possession going the other way, I'll give you guys some words from our friends over at Fleet Farm, and they'll actually blow it dead because it hit the official. Yep. So quick reminder as well that don't miss Fleet Farm's Countdown to Summer event and save on everything for outdoor work and play. From lawn and garden tools to grilling and fishing gear. That's Save today at Fleet Farm, who proudly served the Midwest since 1955, or the years of Ike.
One of the Fleet Farm's the place to go. It's tough living in Rapids because there is no Fleet Farm, but when you're in town, and I mean Waupaca isn't too far from you, but when you're in town, you got to go to Fleet Farm and get everything you need for sure.
And you always have to stop in the candy aisle.
100%. That's why when I was during football and stuff like that, when he talked about going there for all your hunting needs, you got to go to the candy.
And then afterwards, you go to especially if you have a couple young ones, go to Toyland.
Oh yes, yeah.
In the winter,
we got to Toyland, I don't know, like a week before it was like really opened, and so I mean we got a lot of stuff before everyone.
Good
went
pass,
crazy.
and a good save. No, you're absolutely right there. Like remember when you were younger, this will date us a little bit, but you'd always get the actual paper catalog from Toyland. So you always look, I want this and this and this, and you'd get a pen and you'd circle everything.
You're bringing me back to my childhood. I mean, it would come in the mail.
There wasn't internet then.
No, I mean you you would wait for it to come in the mail. You would have yours. My grandma and grandpa didn't live too far away from me. You would go get theirs. My aunt and uncle didn't live too far away from me, so you go get theirs.
And you circle everything you want.
Every single thing.
So we'll have a goal kick for the Royals here, approaching the 20-minute mark.
How much stuff did you get? Really not much.
No, you really got nothing. They said, no, that's flea from. We're going to go to Walmart.
Yeah.
As we'll get one to throw in going back toward the Falcons. Tara Thompson in the game. Hannah Wall in the game as well for the Falcons, both making a couple of subs here.
As Kendall Dillman keeps kicking it out.
And still with a big smile on her face.
Yeah. There's not too many times when Kendall is not smiling. So throw in coming for the Falcons. 21st minute, 3-0 Royals.
Goals from the usual suspects.
Yeah.
Dillman with a couple and Shaw.
Dillman up to 25. Sarah up to 31. Just her freshman campaign.
And we talked about this during basketball season with Sarah Shaw, that by the time she graduates, she's going to go down as, if not the best female athlete in Royal history.
Absolutely. I mean, she
her skill is unbelievable for a freshman.
Runs cross country, and a name that a lot of Royal fans are very familiar with in Ionara. She is made and really transformed Ionara San Rosas, transformed the Assumption girls cross country team, and getting a lot more of them out.
And then you talk about Sarah is working cross country here, working basketball. You're seeing here in soccer, she could be legitimately an all-state performer in 3 sports next year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And she was a little late to the party in basketball, had a couple of things going on early on the season. She didn't really start playing until after the new year, and she still made the impact that she did, helping the Royals to a state runner-up. But like you mentioned, if she can stay healthy and she can stay on the court and in the field and all that, she'll be a phenomenal top of the line athlete in Assumption history.
And you talk about the first time these two teams just met, how physical it was. We just had a foul there called on Alyssa Tapp. In most sports, you call it a shoulder check.
Addie Vollert up along the far sidelines.
Good defense as well on the outside shoulder by Dylan Werchowski. But Shaw out-maneuvering and buries one dead center. And it's 4-0.
She can just get in between 2 or 3 defenders where it doesn't look like she's going to be open, and then she's able to squeak past her, get the ball, and put it in the back of the net for her second goal of the game.
And it's not even just that; is that she can control it with both feet, so she can score with her left or her right, which is just a very, very strong tool to have.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. 22nd minute, 4-0 Royals.
Already outscoring the first game.
Yeah. Like you mentioned, I think Kendall Dillman had a hat trick in their first meeting. And
a lot of this goes back to Amherst had a couple looks early on, and we had a couple really nice saves from Reichel, the one that may or may not could have been called a penalty. And then ever since then, Amherst has been kind of faltering, as we'll get a couple of subs in. And the field is completely tilted Assumption's way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as those substitutions come in, I believe that was Olive Wilson back in the game for the Royals.
And Morgan Krieger for Amherst.
Addie Vollert keeps it in.
Leah Pearson trying to get free up that right side, looking for a cross. It'll go wide. We'll get a goal kick.
Nobody enjoys being without comfort. Time to plan for the summer months ahead. Give the pros at Rapids Sheet Metal Heating and Cooling a call for furnace and AC service in Wisconsin Rapids. We'll be there rapidly to figure out and take care of the trouble, and we'll get the comfort working again right away. Call Rapids Sheet Metal Heating and Cooling at 715-301-0256. Visit online at rapidsheetmetal.com.
Lily Bartholow trying to get an open spot. Tara Thompson trying to go right back to her. But just cleared all the way back down, and now Shaw. But a step up there by Llewellyn. So Amherst trying to get something going, but some good step ups there as Shaw just fires one over the top. as
And-
Leah Pearson now playing back more of a defensive role.
And when you have players that are as fast as Addie Vollert and Kendall Dillman, you can do things like that. Just send it down the field and see if they can track it down.
And Amherst, same way. They can do it for pretty much any team that's not Assumption. Regis to an extent, but Regis had have their own speed. That somehow went through the uprights. That was impressive. We'll get a goal kick. But Regis had a player that was very similar. She had the first couple goals in that one where she's just so much faster than everyone else on the field.
And when you got 3 of those for Assumption and Vollert and Shaw and Dillman, and then you have the next line with Kayla Kirkman, Mally Steinley, and Clara Kubis, it's a hard nut to crack. And Assumption
You need to essentially score first to beat to have any chance. If they get the first goal, they're going to have momentum and they're going to be playing more confident and using that speed more. But if you get them on their heels, which you're going to have to do in the playoffs to try and knock them off.
The first goal that they gave up this year was to Aquinas, and that was Lacrosse Aquinas. That was on a Saturday. They were trailing 1-0, and then they scored the next 6 goals and ended up winning 11-2 against a team that they beat in the sectional semifinal last year. And so, just the momentum that Assumption has been able to gain. Have only given up 4 goals this year, and
you got to wonder, where is State this year?
Uline Stadium in Milwaukee.
Yeah, you got to think that Assumption is probably one of the big favorites to be there.
Yeah, and I mean, it goes back to their sectional that is not overly great.
And there's a chance, but they couldn't quite connect. It would have been a tap-in.
I mean, the team that they beat in the sectional final last year was McDonald Regis. I don't know a lot about teams like River Valley or teams like that, but Coach Wendell speaks high of them. So it's going to be a fun 2 weeks of the postseason.
And some of that could also just be coach speak.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Claire Kubis, wide right.
If you move the net over another net length, that might have been it.
Thank you to our game day sponsors, AJ Holly and Sons, Amherst Family Foods, H.O. Holding, Northwind Solar, Amherst International Bank of Amherst, OK Hardware, and Amherst Telephone Company. We're gonna have to have Trevor rewrite that. Amherst International Bank just is not right.
Well, we'll get that situated once we get to it moving forward. We have a weekend to get this. We're still brainstorming for playoffs here, folks.
It kind of got my tongue all messed up.
You believe me, you get used to it. But then again, for you being an Amherst guy, you still got family around here.
Well, my mom's worked there for 30 years, so
you if anyone knows, it'd be you. I was gonna say, how often over the years have you been to Amherst Family Foods?
Oh, every Sunday after church for, I don't know,
20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah, it was the same for, again, I live in Iowa, but essentially back when it was the IGA.
Yep.
The IGA.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always a big spot to go when, like summer baseball, when you would play the last game of the day, you would always go to IGA, or if you're in WIAA, you would go to IGA. And
yep. Get your ice cream or your pop or whatever you needed. And here it's Amherst Family Foods.
Yeah. Amherst Family Foods, King Cone during the summer.
Or Shivers in other places, or Bricks, or back when I remember Bricks. That was around here, wasn't it?
I don't think Bricks was in.
I knew it was around the area. I don't think it was Amherst, though. That might have been an Iola one, too.
Sarah Shaw
looking for the Hattie.
Centers it into Kayla Kirkman and pops her right over the top of the crossbar.
As we'll get a host of subs in and set up for a goal kick. So we're going to take a quick timeout as well during this goal kick. We'll be back right after this with more soccer on Zaleski Sports.
Hi, this is Blake from MobileLink. I can tint your car, truck, or SUV. I even tint windshields with a film you can't see, but will reduce heat and glare by 43%. We've all seen those do-it-yourself tint jobs that turn purple and start bubbling all over. Not my work. Everything gets tinted by me and inspected before it rolls out the door, including a lifetime warranty. Call Blake at MobileLink to schedule your appointment today. 715-424-5432.
Right after the goal kick, Assumption almost put another one in during our break, but it skips just high, so we'll get a goal kick for the Falcons here. Trying to get back. We're Just over 11 minutes left here in this first half. It's been all Royals, 4-0, 2 goals apiece from Dillman and Shaw. As Shaw trying to get by Omernick. Looking for the angle. It'll roll out. We'll get another goal kick. I was waiting for you to call. If Sarah had put that one in, get yourself the call for the hat trick.
I was talking to our friend Tony over here.
The press box camaraderie.
Yeah.
Second to none.
Well, he's got to do a lot more than we've got to. He's got to run the clock. He's got to do PA, and we're just sitting here talking. Katie's doing all the other work.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You always forget how invaluable every role is in a broadcast, whether in any sport, scorekeeping, running the board.
No, absolutely.
It is always one cohesive unit that makes it work.
10 minutes left in this first half-ish as the Royals 4-0 over Amherst.
And again, a beautiful look. You see the lights on.
And again, I probably said it during football, coming back here, again, Amherst alum, as I am, that over 10 years, this summer will be 10 years since I've graduated. How much?
10-year reunion.
How much this, I mean, obviously it's changed, but how incredible it has become. This school, K through 12, obviously, all in one building, has been that way, always will be that way, maybe. Unless Amherst continues to grow at the pace that as it is. But ever since 93 when they moved out of the old high school, all K through 12 in one building here. And again, just phenomenal. Just phenomenal what this school has become in 10 or obviously over forever, but the last 10 years the transformation has been remarkable.
It is, and again, I know soon it's going to be the stuff behind us is going to be getting a new look as well.
Yep.
The baseball and softball fields and the track.
I think the whole school, right, Katie? They're passed a referendum. Yeah, passed a referendum in April, and
it's going to
be like a college campus.
It's going
from the pictures that I saw.
It's going to be the envy of mid-Wisconsin for sure.
I know Wisconsin Rapids Lincoln is redoing their whole not redoing their whole high school, but upgrading a lot of stuff over there. And
now we just need to fix Gerke.
Yeah. Yeah, that's more so on the city and the university. But
well, I know.
Speaking of the University of Stevens Point, they knocked off Lawrence today in a NCAA Division III baseball regional.
Yeah, I got to look at the box score and see if there's anyone familiar. I know one of I consider him a friend, little teammate, is pitching for the team right now. Probably not in big games quite yet because he's still pretty young, but Marcus Jaworski from Iola.
Yeah. There's obviously, if you're from the Rapids area, the Kromenacher brothers and Tyler Byer.
Yep. Next year, their football team's going to get a familiar name for Zaleski fans. Here comes Dillman looking for the hat trick.
Oh, my goodness, Kendall.
And it's good.
It was through the uprights.
But speaking of, I was talking with former Pacelli Cardinal today, Bryson Cashin.
Yeah, yep, saw.
Going to Point.
Yep.
A lot of area athletes getting ready to play college athletics. Drew Kadrovich going to St. Norbert.
Yeah, there's, he rushed for a couple thousand yards on that field
last 2 years
at Gerke, so.
Yeah, just stay there.
Yeah, exactly right. Kayla Kirkman going to Madison Edgewood, as mentioned earlier, to play soccer.
Yeah, I think in a couple years, a lot of the softball players will be committing somewhere.
Yeah, Clara Kubis is going to St. Olaf in Minnesota, play soccer.
We got a couple Falcons who have committed to play multiple athletics.
Yep. Kubis clears that one out. How about this one? Izzy Youngworth told me about it, or appreciated the shout out last time. Izzy's going to Georgia Tech and is going for aerospace engineering.
So NASA.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just genius level stuff.
I mean, you're going to Georgia Tech, which means pretty soon you're going to Cape Canaveral. that screams you're going to be working either with NASA or with some other Boeing or something like that. That's just incredible.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Before long, you'll know she's going to be the first one to step on Mars, and we'll be like, oh, we knew Izzy in high school.
We called her soccer games.
And Sarah Shaw with it now.
Yeah, as Amernick just clears it out.
Speaking of Assumption Sports, INR sends Hirosas going to Concordia and Mequon to, I think, run cross country and track.
Good for her.
Yeah, I mean, coming over from Spain.
Incredible story.
Oh, just phenomenal. And I think, if I am wrong, comment in the comment section, but I believe her sister is planning on coming also in the coming years to Assumption. So, yeah, just tremendous story that has come through for Miss Sans Rosas.
Amherst trying to get something going. 5.5 to go.
And as you mentioned, I mean, in that first 10 minutes, Assumption scored the first goal in the
51
first minute,
seconds.
But then the next 5 or 6 minutes, Amherst had a couple of runs that they just were unable to capitalize on.
There's Yerlin Ferreira with a good run down there, stopping Schofer from getting a break. Yeah, those two saves are what you're going to circle back on how this game really swung towards Assumption's way. Because if Amherst ties it up there, or if they get both of them, Assumption playing from behind, they've done it, but they haven't played from starting ahead and then falling behind.
Yep. Absolutely. And again, Morgan has not really been threatened this year. I mean, a couple of games, Assumption has outshot teams 20, 30, 35 to nothing. I mean, there has not even been shots at Morgan.
And I've seen a couple of those with Amherst as well. And I just kind of, and again, not to sound anything bad, but this is a very top-heavy conference.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It's a very clear three-team group between Amherst, Assumption, and Regis.
Addie Vollert centers it in. Sarah Shaw with
Hat-trick.
the hat trick here in the first half at 35-47. Shaw, her 33rd goal of the year, and another hat trick for the freshman. And the Royals lead 5-0.
So it makes you wonder, with her year, is she Conference Player of the Year? Or would it be Kendall?
She should be right up there. Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. And we talked about it for a lot of this stuff. Just the freshman class at Assumption. You saw what Anna Schooley does in softball, what Sarah Shaw, Eddie Vollert are doing here, Claire Nelson in softball. It's just remarkable how talented the freshman class at Assumption is.
That state basketball team this year had essentially a whole second line of just freshmen who came in, and they would extend leads.
Yeah, it's remarkable. And again, they don't give out freshmen or rookies of the year for conferences in high school, but it'd be right there for a lot of these players from Assumption.
Corner for the Falcons. Schulfer can't play it back, and she'll just swing it back out. Sage looking for a cross. Paige Bird knocks it down, but good coverage that time by the Royals.
Izzy Youngworth playing without her senior counterparts in Sadie Donahue, who tweaked her ankle against Regis McDonald last week up in Eau Claire on the turf field over there. And at senior night, she started for about 5 seconds. They got her the ball and trotted off the field for her senior night.
Always the worst when if you get hurt on senior night. It's just As Barthel tries to send it across. I'm sure there's going to be a lot going on for the Falcons when that playoff game.
Yeah, yep.
Celebrate a lot of the seniors, a pretty senior-heavy team, especially in their midfield. And when you look at some of the Falcons, you got Schofer, Wahlwer, Chowski, Barthel, Tapp, Morgan Krieger, Tara Thompson, who just sends it all the way back over the top.
Yeah, again, just the first
But
half.
I think we had a foul called first.
Yep. Mobile Link in Wisconsin Rapids is your go-to for car and boat service, including window tinting, remote start, and accessorizing. In Wisconsin Rapids, Mobile Link on 8th Street. Can't find too many things in Wisconsin Rapids that aren't on 8th Street. that's just the way it goes. But again, I don't know how many shout-outs that I've given. It probably isn't enough. But and you've talked to him all season long, but a huge, huge shout-out to Amherst baseball coach and our new salesman, Bill Held, who is bringing all these new sponsors to help us along and bring you live high school sports, live free high school sports all year long. And big shout-out to Bill.
Absolutely. I haven't talked to him today when he stopped by Memorial in Plover. I watched a few innings of the Columbus Catholic Pacelli game and then got right back to work.
Yeah, and it's hard, and all places seem to be looking for them. Salespeople are just so hard to find, and to have rejection as much as salespeople do, that's not in my wheelhouse.
And we both worked in other forms of broadcast media. We were co-workers for a while at the same radio station, but sales is the hardest job there is.
100%.
And to be able to have the people we have with us here, and also the businesses themselves being willing to work with us.
Yep. Absolutely.
Like seeing the list that we've had, the instructions we get for every game grow every week is amazing, to the point where I almost didn't have enough innings to do all of my reads today doing baseball.
Yep.
And that's a big testament to our staff and to all of these local businesses who make this possible. And so, again, we thank you, every single one of you. So we approach the final 20 seconds.
No doubt. Mike and I would probably still be enjoying broadcasting sports, but without fine folks that are helping us out, it would be not.
It'd be pro bono.
It would just be volunteer work, really.
Which we've done before, and we've done PA and scorekeeping, and as the first half's going to come to an end, we've played 40. Your score after 40, it is the Assumption Royals of 5, thanks to the dynamic duo of Dillman and Shaw, and the Amherst Falcons 0. Again, stay tuned. We got plenty more of our great sponsors right ahead on Zaleski Sports.
Don't let pain or mobility issues keep you from enjoying life. Let our physical therapy doctors and our staff at Roberts Physical Therapy help you recover your ability to move easily and live free of aches and pains, providing effective individual treatment plans. Whether you're experiencing problems with balance and mobility, you're experiencing pain in your low back, or you're dealing with any other physical challenges, we'll take care of you. For more information on how we can service your needs, contact us today.
At Bauer & Fine Business Technologies in Marshfield, our company has been serving Central Wisconsin since 1955. We're still locally owned and believe strongly in supporting the communities that support us. If you're a current customer, thank you. If you're not a current customer, we'd love to work with you. Let's talk about copiers, printers, postage meters, and network services. Give us a call today at 800-288-2712 or visit our website at b-bt.com. Bauer & Fine Business Technologies. Better business together.
Nasonville Dairy, family-owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Nasonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on U.S. Highway 10, NasonvilleDairy.com.
When you want to win games, you look for an expert. Here's two-time national champion, Coach Jack Bennett.
I may know a few things about basketball, but I'm a rookie when it comes to vehicles. I trust the team at Sherrill Tire and Service Centers to call those shots. They're professionals. Remove the stress and anxiety of having your vehicle serviced or repaired.
Find your location at SherrillTire.com.
Go with the winning team at Sherrill Tire and Service Centers.
If you lose direction, you can grab my hand. I'll be the one behind you to say no one-man band. Just follow your dreams and keep your
We're all different, but we all want great health insurance. See why we're rated #1 in service, coverage, and affordability in Central Wisconsin.
Why am I an orthopedic surgeon? It's a great question. It was nothing I planned. I actually am a Spanish major. Went back to school and became a physical therapist. That was okay, but I decided to go back to school and become the surgeon. I think the biggest thing when you're talking to the patient is if you can relate to them, number one. Number two is if you can teach them what the problem is. If you can teach them what the problem is, they're going to do fine. They're going to learn what it is, they're going to figure out how to fix it, and then they're going to adapt. There's days when things don't work out and things are harder than others, but clearly you're here for one reason and you're not here for you. You're here for the patient that comes in. Healthcare is kind of like going to the supper club in Wisconsin. You always feel like you need to travel to get a better Friday fish fry or to get the prime rib on Saturday, but really here we have everything under the same roof. We have everything within a hospital that, quite frankly, is rated in the top 2 hospitals in the state for joint replacements. We have hospitals coming to us to ask how we do joint replacements, how we solve the problem, how we get patients motivated and moving with very low risk and very low complication rates, and our outcomes are much better.
That's one way to do it. It is halftime here from Heartland Farms Field here in Amherst. Mike Wilman here, Steve Maves alongside me, Katie Lecton on production here for Zaleski Sports. As we knew Assumption was good, Steve knew especially how good they were. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
They're an elite team in not just Mid-Wisconsin, just the Midwest.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you saw it early on. Their speed and their precision on their shots was top-notch, second to none. The first goal was a perfect scene of that where Kendall Dillman just sliced it into the top left corner, and then a couple of touch goals here and there. But, again, a 5-0 lead. It's kind of like that 3-0, different obviously in soccer, but 3-0 lead in hockey and all this stuff that it's.
Because that's the most dangerous lead in hockey.
Yeah, never mind. But
I know exactly what you're getting at.
Just that mountain to try and climb over now.
It's like a 3-run lead with the bases loaded in the 7th inning. And wait.
Yeah, and the
Falcons know that one.
Top player, one of the top players in the state, coming to bat. But it's just one of those things that the Royals' speed and Amherst just hasn't. Again, they had their opportunities, just weren't able to capitalize.
And you talk about the top 2, freshman and sophomore have combined for 58 goals this year, and they have all 5 today.
Yeah.
So this isn't going to be a one-year thing for the Royals. This is going to be a recurring nightmare for the Midwestern Wisconsin Conference.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Wendels has done a tremendous job bringing girls out to play soccer and really building up those numbers to where a couple of years ago they had one win. And not a couple of years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago, they had one win. Last year they made it back down to state, lost to Cedar Grove, Belgium in the state semifinal. But, again, the way that they've been playing, the way that they play on grass in Wisconsin Rapids is really, really at this point unbeatable, obviously. But they are right now scheduled to host their own sectional final like they did last year. And so there should be no reason, if you're an Assumption Royals girls soccer fan, that you should have to leave Wisconsin Rapids until state.
I agree. That's the best way to put it. And they're well on their way to locking up an undefeated conference record tonight. And unless something insane happens, which will make the greatest highlight package you will ever make, the Royals well on their way to another win. So we're going to step aside very quickly. We'll get you guys ready for the second half of this one here from Heartland Farms Field in Amherst. Again, 5-0 Royals on Zaleski Sports.
Rustic Redefined is the area's boutique clothing store for women and children. You'll find a personalized shopping experience with unique and trendy styles to choose from. Rustic Redefined specializes in affordable clothes and accessories with red carpet service. Find your individual style at Rustic Redefined on 8th Street South in Wisconsin Rapids and Rustic Redefined on Facebook.
Wondering what to feed your team after work, the game, or this weekend? Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids has tasty char-broiled burgers for any hungry appetite. From the classic hamburger to the famous Chips Champ and everything in between, check out our daily specials. Stop inside to enjoy your meal with comfortable seating. See our complete menu of burgers, hot ham and cheese, hot beef, chicken and fish, fries, rings, curds, and ice cream served year-round. In a hurry? Same great menu in the drive-thru. Chips Hamburgers in Marshfield and Wisconsin Rapids.
Really got to understand what what a nurse is. Do they focus on you? You know, do they make sure that you're comfortable? And, you know, that's what Shai has. It's the connection that he has, you know, my best interest in mind, always.
Why wait another day? Let's take the next step together towards a better life.
Need incentive to get started at Mid-State Technical College? 1, 2, 3 for free can save up to $900 on tuition. Start this summer if you'd like. No catches, no application fee or essays to write. 1, 2, 3 for free at Mid-State. Get started at mstc.edu.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
Hi, this is Jill from Home Furniture and Design. Since 1970 and 4 generations, our family has been proudly offering quality furniture like Lazy Boy, Serta, and the Amish to Central Wisconsin. We also offer free in-home design with our professionally trained designers to help you create a space that is uniquely yours, whether it's just a sofa or the entire home.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love home furniture.
West Grand Avenue, Wisconsin Rapids, and Post Road in Plover.
Whitetail Lanes is your fun headquarters in central Wisconsin. We offer a clean, family-friendly environment. Whether you come to bowl, eat, visit our pro shop, or just hang out, we'll show you what customer service is all about. We pride ourselves on serving excellent food at reasonable prices. Try our Friday night fish fry, or come out on Saturdays for our delicious homemade pizza cooked in our new stone ovens. Book us for your next party or event. Once you've been here, we know you'll be back. Whitetail Lanes, just north of Amherst Junction on Q.
Getting set for the second half as both teams out is we got some light poking through as the sun's starting to set. As Steve will get his headset on for us.
I was talking without the headset on.
No worry, I spent a whole inning last week in Rochelle with the mute button on, so.
Yeah. And it was a new mixer, so.
It was, and we used it today, and it worked out all right, even though I did, again, have a little segment, but Trevor was right there to reach over and hit the volume on button. It wasn't much of an inning anyway. It was only 3 runs. But they were all on errors and wild pitches, so it didn't add much anyway.
Yeah, beautiful scene here
this
now.
This is awesome.
This is pretty sweet as the sun pokes through here at Heartland Farms Field in Amherst on this just picturesque Friday night in central Wisconsin.
As the first one goes off the right hip of Alexa Schulfer, one of the talented multi-sport Falcon seniors.
Talented might be an understatement. She is a phenomenal,
agreed,
phenomenal athlete.
Remember, she was the first of that class to get called up during basketball season when she was a freshman with Coach Jensen.
Yeah, yeah.
Who,
sure, he's enjoying retirement.
Well, absolutely.
Somewhere.
I mean, that was always one of my favorite things when I was working in radio in Wapaka. Was me and my other guy, Touchdown Terry. We'd power ranked coaches.
Yeah.
And he was always the number one.
I mean, having played for him, it was awesome. And yeah, enjoying Florida and Las Vegas, and his brother lives in Las Vegas, so.
As a Vollert shot saved by Thompson. Absolutely, yeah. The Falcons have done an incredible job in every sport with their coaching hires, especially in recent years. I mean. You talk about Coach Held in baseball, and we obviously Marco Lusick the last decade, Greg Jensen. I think Brandon Trepetowski's doing a great job with the girls basketball team. Coach Spies here has done a very, very awesome job with the soccer program.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to that. It goes to how dedicated these student athletes are and how much these coaches put in. And, again, it goes to the results that have been showing through the three sports seasons.
And plus, for the majority of them, like Lusick being an example, they're also teaching here.
Yeah.
So they're putting in they're getting to know their student athletes on an academic and intellectual level.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, coming from a coaching tree that Lusick did from Wapaka and John Kronkowitz that Kronk was a teacher as well, and
that program hasn't been the same since he left.
No, and that's
Bennett Hansen, I think, is gonna help turn things around.
Yeah, no, and again, coaching tree. Bennett was here helping with the Amherst football team when Coach Lusick showed up. Now 11 years. This will be his 12th football season, and we had one losing season. That was his first year, 4-5. It's obviously been all uphill since.
And before him, it was every year.
Yeah. I mean, they were. I think we made playoffs in 2003 and then 2008, and then Lusick showed up and they were 3 or 4 time state champions.
4, they had a three-peat.
Yeah, and so just tremendous culture here now in Amherst.
There's a couple of corners that go for nothing. We'll get thrown for the Falcons here. We're 43 minutes in. And immediately a quick turnover, but Amherst chases it back down, but turns it right back over. High shot. And caught by Thompson right on the goal line. If she's a foot further back or if she is 4 inches shorter, that's a goal.
I think if she's 4 inches shorter, she's probably not. She's not the tallest goalie, obviously, but as Barthel has,
it's a metaphor, Steve, or it's hyperbole. Is there's a one hopper to Reichel?
Sydney Seavey and I were talking about this whenever Amherst was in Rapids. It might have been last Monday.
It was 2 weeks because last week would have been Regis.
Yeah, right? I don't know. Well, it doesn't matter, but
it was in 2022.
Yeah, and the U.S. men's team finally qualifying for the World Cup in Qatar, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's going to be coming up soon, and the U.S. has got to get a World Cup at some point, I would assume.
Maybe I don't know if they have the size arena for it.
They're
and the passion is getting there in America, but I don't think it's there yet.
They're the Olympics in 2028, 26 in L.A. Joked around that by that time NBC won't be broadcasting. It'll be all Zaleski Sports at the Olympics.
I would love to do that. I mean, that was always one of my goals when they asked me what I wanted to do with my career. One of my highlights was I wanted to do 1 year's Olympics.
Yeah.
Specifically, I wanted to do a lot of the
ping pong.
Well, that'd be fun too because you could make it just action packed. Like I enjoyed doing swimming.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Uh-oh.
As our scoreboard glitch continuing again.
Oh, because it's at 45
At 45.
Yeah, first half, yeah. Huh.
But whether it's swimming or gymnastics or
track and field.
Track and field.
Yeah.
Track and field's always a lot of fun. When I was doing Drake relays, that was a blast.
That's right.
Those are always fun, and you saw so many elite athletes. Like I got to meet so many Olympians during that time.
Yeah.
And then you realize how just crazy athletic they are, especially the throwers. Like that's like when you meet Christian Cantwell for the first time and you see this guy who's about 5'10", 310 pounds, but it's all muscle.
Sarah Shaw with it now.
Looking for a cross. Vollard almost got a look there.
Sarah again crosses over again. And Sarah, that was going to be
great save. Ella Thompson stepping up. None of these 5 goals are on her. She's been solid in that.
No, absolutely. As we play in the 47th minute. And, U.S. men's team finally going to another World Cup. They
missed the last 2 or just the last one?
It's been a while, at least 2. It's been a while. I think since
last time I remember them going to was when Landon Donovan had his awesome game winner against Algeria.
It was something like that. Yeah, that would
have been 20.
I think 10.
I think it was 2010. So it's been 2 they've missed.
Yeah, it's. We were trying to go through last week on some of the most iconic U.S. national events, Olympics and World Cup and all that stuff. And
I mean, number one's gonna be always February 1980.
Yeah, and
as Katie asked what happened then. Research the words "miracle on ice."
I mean, the miracle we got. As Kayla Kirkman into the center.
And there it is.
It's going to be in. I think they're high-fiving Kayla Kirkman, so we'll give it to her.
It might have been an own goal.
It could have been right off the midsection of an Amherst Falcon at 47:02 here in the second half, and it's 6-0 Royals.
And just like that, Royals 2 goals away from ending this one in 13 minutes. If it gets to 8.
Is it 8 or 10?
I think it's 8. But it might be 10. But I'm pretty sure it's 8 'cause I'm pretty sure there's a game that Amherst had that ended, I think, 9-1.
Yeah, they're, again, just going back to that. Obviously, the Miracle on Ice, Landon's goal.
I mean, the women's team just winning the World Cup.
Abby Wambach against Brazil. And
Carly Lloyd in the World Cup final getting the hat trick in the first half there. You got Carrie Shrug's Olympic or gymnastics routines. You got Michael Phelps.
Brandy Chastain.
The save.
No, not Chastain. No,
she had the goal.
Yeah, at the
Mia Hamm
in the Rose Bowl or at the Rose Bowl.
Yeah, Brandy Chastain with the goal.
Brianna Scurry, the
in
goalkeeper.
Net, yep.
Yep.
And a lot of
obviously the dream team in the Olympics, the men's basketball team.
And then the Redeem team.
Yeah. And then this last year they were awful. I mean they
yeah, it wasn't great. But they still were competitive.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But then to me, like the biggest one outside of the Miracle and the Brandy Chastain game would be Michael Phelps. Just the greatest individual Olympian in American history.
Yeah, individual. I mean, just when he was.
It was appointment viewing.
Yeah, I mean when he was at his peak, what they would say that he would eat for breakfast before he would train, it was like 5,000 calories for breakfast. Just
his diet was. Like, I'm a fan of the sport of strongman.
Yeah.
And which those guys eat 10 to 12,000 calories a day. That's what he would do.
Yeah.
But he's 190 pounds.
Yeah.
He's half their size.
Yeah. I mean, an average person shouldn't consume, I think, 2,000 calories.
And then some soccer players are I guess pretty similar when you got to think of when you're the miles they put on their legs.
It'd be interesting. I know you can't wear jewelry or anything. In
wear a pedometer?
Yeah. See how many steps, especially like a forward or.
I was thinking a midfielder.
Midfielder, yeah.
Like just the steps. Yeah, I think how much has Kayla Kirkman or Kendall Dillman run today?
Yeah. And Coach Wendell's isn't subbing a lot today.
No.
And so,
and maybe also Coach Wendell's heart rate.
Yeah. Assumption will be back in action on Tuesday as they host Melrose Mindoro, the Mustangs, right? The Green Mustangs.
I think so. That.
Melrose is 8-5 in conference.
They're the number 4 team, I think.
Yep.
And Amherst handled them.
Yeah.
I think it was when Lily Bartle had 4. I think she had 4, and I think Tapp had a hat trick in that game.
So it might be all right that maybe not. I was going to say we have softball regionals on Tuesday. I was going to say might be okay that I show up late to the soccer game, but it might already be over. All the goals might be scored already.
I mean, for the Royals, a lot of their games are over when the ball is kicked off. This is as an elite team as there is.
That's going to be centered in. Sarah Shaw again, wide.
Just
right?
wide.
You like golfing, Mike?
It's been a while. I'm more of an urban golf guy where you get a tennis ball and you go wherever you can and you hit it off buildings and satellite dishes and things like that.
Yeah, I'm pretty terrible at golf, but they got one of the best in the state in Wisconsin Rapids. 18 beautiful holes of golf await you at the Ridges Golf Course in Wisconsin Rapids. Enjoy their new outdoor patio and updated banquet hall to go along with their well-manicured greens, hazards, and challenging holes. That's the Ridges Golf Course in Wisconsin Rapids.
Of course, we have a big thank you to give out to golf as for a company. They helped to keep us going in 2020.
Yeah.
Here comes Bartholomew, chance. And then cleared out. Oh, that's shin on shin. And Lily looks like she's going to be all right, but she's frustrated. She couldn't quite get there. That was a leg-on-leg hit. But golf of zone, of course, PJ going on right now.
Yeah.
Including the legend, John Daly, back in action. I think it was John Heyman who did a countdown of what he
Oh, that was crazy.
what he did during his first 18.
Yeah, we'll find it for you.
Well, some of it we probably shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean it was just adult drinks.
Yeah, and tobacco.
Oh yeah.
And we have a player down. So clock will stop. We're going to step aside. 52nd minute, 8-0 or 6-0 Royals. We're back after this on Zaleski Sports.
Hi, this is Van Patrick Oates from Rapids Awards and More. People ask, what is the more part of Awards and More? Well, that means that we're more than just an award store. We engrave glass, wood, plastic, guns, Yeti cups, medals, knives, and so much more. We're located on the web at awardsandmore.us. And if you're in the Wisconsin Rapids area, visit our physical store at 1210 Pepper Avenue or check us out on Facebook. Rapids Awards and More than just awards.
Little Sprouts is now open in Rudolph with the same great childcare you know about in Auburndale. Here's Brooke Sievers to tell us about it.
The community here in Rudolph has been extremely welcoming, and we're excited to serve here just like we do up in Auburndale. Part of the process is to help out the school districts and to help the children stay, their 4K children to stay close and get services right here. We serve here in Rudolph 1-year-olds up until 12-year-olds, and up in Auburndale we serve 6 weeks old until 12-year-olds.
Our Auburndale pea pods, wiggle worms, busy bees, and fireflies welcome the Rudolph sweet potatoes, lovely ladybugs, and beautiful butterflies. Contact Little Sprouts Learning Garden on Facebook today.
Alyssa Tapp being helped off. Coach Spees helping her, putting no weight at all on her right leg, and that was just a very unfortunate play. Round of applause from both teams and fans of both teams, and such a talented player for this Falcons team, and we hope that she's going to be all right, as we're going to see if we can.
Oh yeah, she lifted her right leg up. It looked like Clara Kubas
and got clipped.
Yeah, right through her right.
Just going to make a play on the ball, and the follow through caught her, and she spun the wrong way.
Yep.
And went down. And it's going to be a goal kick when play does resume. But again, we hope the best going forward for Alyssa Tapp. Again, such a fun player to broadcast this year. She has been the heart and soul of this team. She is tough as nails. And to see her go down was just a very quiet moment. And you talked about
Bree Sullivan.
with Bree Sullivan.
Yeah.
It's very similar with what Tapp means to this program.
Yeah, Bree, the last game that Assumption and Amherst played, Bree Sullivan tore her ACL right at midfield, and it was just, it wasn't as a non-contact injury as a lot of them are, but it was pretty devastating, and obviously best wishes to Bree Sullivan in her hopefully speedy recovery. Just a sophomore.
As it gets played back, as we are back underway, there is still soccer being played.
Yeah. How's it going to be not having to work tomorrow?
It's weird. Well, I'm going to be cutting highlights tomorrow still of the baseball game I had today.
We don't have to travel anywhere.
Well, after doing 9 games last week, including producing you for one with Pacelli Almond softball.
Oh, that's right.
In the hot box of WIAA.
Yeah, it seems like a millennium ago.
When it was 130 degrees in there.
That was the day it was supposed to storm, and it was just
and just didn't.
Very humid, yes.
And it became Florida.
Yeah. I had a game, Wisconsin Rapids and Spash softball. I think it was Monday.
Oh, that's rough. It's good defense there. Where Chowski, but another look, Dillman, they're going to blow it dead. Offside.
Almost number 4.
Would have been a hat trick for Dillman.
Yeah, Sarah's got 3.
And then Kirkman, we think, has that one.
Yeah, that's right. I told Sarah, or I told Kayla before the game, she's got to get a couple of goals tonight. So she's got 1.
Challenge accepted.
Might have to try to figure out who to talk to if Assumption hangs on here. Got Sarah Shaw and Morgan Reichel. Might have to take, how old's Morgan? Morgan, junior. Sarah, a freshman. Get those 2 in. Again.
Well, I think you're going to have Sarah for a while yet to be able to talk to a few times you'll be able to talk to Sarah.
Yeah, basketball.
Get her in the house. We might have a highlight clip of just her saying she's in the house by the time she graduates.
That'll go on the senior slideshow.
The senior slideshow.
Between her and Addie Vollert and Anna Schooley, and yeah, they'll have plenty.
And Kendall
Dillman, yeah. That was going to be
just cleared back out off to the near side.
Do you like camping?
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Depends on the weather.
DNL Recreation in Wisconsin Rapids. Go there for all your camper needs.
I'll have to make sure, let my family know. Granted, my family, we're tent. We're just old school. Except when it rains, then it's terrible. My mom's out camping right now over at Hartman Creek.
Yep.
In Wapaka.
Yep.
Well, they left Thursday.
Oh, no.
And so there hasn't been a good day yet.
Yeah, and I mean, if you had a camper,
it still wouldn't be good.
DNL Recreation in Wisconsin Rapids.
There you go.
School bus?
We got a bus rolling up.
JV
baseball. Yeah, they had to. Yeah, they had to make a trip.
The friendly confines of Green Devils Stadium and
Adams Friendship.
That's a pretty sweet name, Green Devils.
Yeah, then they were a fun team to cover too. I got to cover them for boys basketball. They were very friendly, and you talk about Cinderella stories. I think they were a 10 seed or 11 seed, and they went to sectionals.
Who do they play?
In boys basketball?
Yeah.
They lost. I can't remember who they lost to, but they were like an 11 seed.
Yeah.
They won their region.
Yeah, that's right.
It was just an incredible.
And
just do it. They got steamrolled in sectionals, but they held their own.
But again, that's all the computerized. I mean, maybe they weren't an 11 seed, but
no, they were solid. Amherst beat them, but they had to earn it.
That's right. Yeah. And so, as again, all computerized starting in the fall, I would assume.
Which I know we've had our debates with both sides, and there's good and bad to both.
Well, they did have it for football this year, didn't they?
Last couple years.
Yeah.
Ever since the Stratford fiasco a couple years ago.
Yeah, that was.
Where they had shut out the season.
Yeah.
And weren't a 1 seed still.
I had to go up to Maple, Wisconsin, and shut out the 1 seed
Northwestern. Yeah, because then they played Amherst in level 4.
Yeah, and Amherst scored. That was the only points until
the deep ball to Carmelo Elman.
Yeah, until
I was on the call that game.
Until LCL scored against them, beat them in state.
Yeah, another great program, LCL.
Their quarterback's playing basketball.
Walk on for the Badgers. Yeah. He's one of the top 10 scorers in state history. He was up there in the rankings. Dillman looking for the hat trick. Nice save, Thompson. Man, I have been impressed with Ella Thompson. She's done a really, really nice job in net.
And as you mentioned, the goals that have been given up really. Oh,
that's absolutely handball. Yeah. Not even Maradona was like, that's a handball.
As you mentioned, I mean, the goals that have been scored, just going back to that first one, that was just a perfect shot. A lot of them have been.
Yeah, it seems like there has been 5 perfect shots and I think an own goal.
Yeah.
Like that's. She has made a very good amount of grade A saves. Like they're not just bouncers that you pick up. She's had to get in position, cut the angle off, and make a great save.
Yeah, she's tipped a couple of them over the crossbar that would have been sure thing goals, and yeah, she's been impressive here tonight.
And that's great for this Falcon program.
Yep. Yeah, to have a couple of goalies
and they're both young.
Yeah.
Ella Miller only a sophomore, and she can come in and play forward if she needs to too. She's got a few goals this year. They moved her up. Thompson has done a good job tonight.
Sarah puts that one into the
into the youth fields.
Yeah.
Who usually we have to say to keep an eye on those during baseball and softball to make sure that nothing goes there that way, so little kids aren't being pelted by a baseball.
Tuesday and Saturdays, I think, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays.
I think Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday.
Youth soccer. There's a center by Dillman.
Katie's a track star. She doesn't pay attention.
That was going to be kicked out, and of
course, regionals coming up forward for track for a lot of Falcons making the trip.
Rochelt again? No?
Winnicott.
Oh, that's right.
The Wolves.
Because you guys are, Amherst keeps growing. They keep going up divisions.
We're the smallest in D2.
Yeah, I mean.
Just the fact that they're in Division 2 is.
Yeah, that's crazy. Blows my mind. But, I mean, I know Rochelt always hosted.
Rochelt would always do track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful facility over there. That one's going to be bounced up and around.
And then Amernick will be able to knock it down. We'll get a corner on the other side this time. And so Kendall Dillon will just go to the other side.
That second time. She was over there before, across the field, and now right back across. And there are those steps that you're talking about. That Kendall's getting in as Kayla Kirkman getting ready to check in.
And I will say I was never a track guy, but going to those events is always fun.
Yeah, yep.
So again, best of luck for the Falcons. We'll keep an eye on what they got going on. Royals track too. We'll see what they've got.
Mally Steinle with the
That's
header.
7-0, 59-31.
Mally Steinle with the header, and Kendall Dillman with the assist, and a perfect job by Mally Steinle with the header.
So Dillman with an assist there, a perfect corner.
Yeah.
Wow. That was
as perfect as it gets on a corner header.
Usually, and usually you do not see that in high school.
No.
You just don't.
Well, now we might have to talk to Mally. Haven't talked to Mally this year yet. After that,
I'd have it either her, Shaw, or Reichel.
Maybe we talk to all three.
Well, it's your call. You're going to be the one down there.
Ask Coach Wendels a question as Clara Kubis gets her ankles broken or just tripped over the 30-yard line.
Turf monster.
It's a bugger, that's for sure.
You never know when it's going to get you. And when you're soccer, if you're a football player, you're kind of used to it on this field. But in soccer, you're not always ready for it. And the turf monster will always be undefeated.
Well, they scooped up by Reichel. What was the joke always about? Was it Tennessee, Knoxville for their college football that they've got people underneath there that.
Yeah. Well, there was the joke about a few years ago, Alabama LSU. Was it the national title or whatever it was?
Yeah.
And LSU didn't get past midfield.
Yeah.
And so the joke was that the bus got stuck because someone painted 50 in front of it. Because the team couldn't pass it.
Yeah. Oh man, Brewers and Nationals, a weekend series starting tonight.
Well, they're the Nationals, or because a couple years ago, for a couple games, they were the Nationals because the seamstress who had the jersey got it wrong.
Oh no!
You remember that with Ryan Zimmerman? He wrote it without the O; it was just Nationals. Also known as the Expos.
I was going to say they should have a throwback week.
They've done it with as the Montreal Expos.
Throwback month or year.
Those were the great. Those were the cool. I love the Expos. Those uniforms were.
Expos jerseys were sweet. When Tampa Bay was the Devil Rays jerseys were sweet.
First game I ever went to at then Miller Park was the first month it was open 21 years ago. Wow, that's a while ago. And it was the Expos.
Expos and Brewers?
Yeah, with Vlad Guerrero,
yeah.
Tim Raines, Milton Bradley.
Yeah.
Jeff Jenkins hit 3 home runs. Friend of the company.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Had a cameo last summer, I think it was.
And no, folks, that is not Brett Favre. That was confusing for a long time for Wisconsinites. Whether Brett Favre just shrunk to about 5'9".
Yeah, I don't think Jeff took any illegal cash either. So
well, it's allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. We'll save that for
allegedly.
Save that for Jason to talk about someday.
Yes, on one of those Lesky shows.
Yeah. But he's a Cowboys fan, so it doesn't matter anyway.
Well, then he'll have glee with it.
Cowboys coming to Lambeau. Tyler Biotish.
Yeah, and Jake Ferguson too.
And Jake Ferguson. First time coming back to.
I mean, Tyler's been around quite a bit. We've seen him around a few times.
First time playing at Lambeau, though.
And of course, you had Garrett Groshek playing in the USFL.
Yeah. The Pittsburgh Maulers finally got their first win last week.
And you watch the video of their coach in the locker room, you see a very familiar number 37 right next to him.
Hey, he's on their. I mean, he's featured on their Twitter page quite a bit. That's pretty cool.
It's always cool just to see these local guys.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping we're going to see it more in multiple sports next year. I'm going to be. I know I'm personally going to be tracking UW Milwaukee baseball a lot next year.
Yep. Well, fans of Viola, Scandinavia, Connor Kirky.
Yep.
Coming to play for the Wisconsin Rapids Rafters this summer.
Yep. And again, they got a former Thunderbird playing for the Pointers right now in baseball.
Yeah.
In Marcus Jaworski.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of these teams co-op. It's Amherst and Iola.
Yep. Yeah, a lot of phenomenal local talent.
It's amazing how it's come on the scene these last few years. It really is.
Yep. Yeah, and again, it's a lot of don't want to say top-notch players are not multiple sport athletes, but a lot of them in these schools, smaller schools, a lot of them play 3 sports. A lot of
and
them,
it helps them.
100%. Allie Steinley behind. Kendall
Dillman has a chance, and she tries to go the other time, tries to go top corner, and the ball kind of knuckled.
Yeah,
that would have been the shot where I put my headset off and I go to my car and go home. That would have been an unbelievable shot. As we're 16 minutes away from this one coming to an end.
Mike, you want to try and memorize this one?
Spectrum?
Spectrum Benefits
Well,
Solutions.
they've got offices located throughout central Wisconsin as your group benefits provider for health, dental, accident, and life insurance. They have offices located. I can't remember the rest of it. They have
works with
the numbers.
Works with hundreds of clients of all sizes to help you
attract and retain the best employees. Find Spectrum Benefit Solutions on Facebook to get started. That one and HS Manufacturing always kind of throw me because I have both those memorized, but then there's the numbers that you have to remember in them.
H&S, I think, is Marshfield Reeds only now because of how phenomenal Bill is doing selling our local ads now.
And because it's also more local, too. Marshfield as well.
100%. Absolutely. Is,
like, if otherwise we would be talking to other factories around this area. Like in a neighboring town in the county seat.
65th minute, what, 15 minutes left? No. Yeah.
Yeah,
How long
15 minutes left.
80 minutes?
Yep, 80. Yeah. 240s. Which from years past, it was 245s.
Yep.
Which when I was doing games for Nina, got really long.
Well, I think starting in the fall.
They went back to 80.
Well, starting this fall for boys, it is going to be that 8-0 or 8-goal
rule.
Yep. Instrumented by the fine folks at not NFHS, but National Federation.
Yeah.
NFHS, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Those people.
The people who make the rules.
Yes. The people that's made a lot of money on putting cameras in certain schools, and not going to name names during the pandemic, but luckily Amherst did not, and we are able to come here and bring you games.
Absolutely. It's been a blast coming here. And also saving me a lot of miles on my car.
Well, and I mean, just the accommodations. Obviously, this
feels great.
This beautiful facility, Amherst Telephone Company helping to get internet in the gym that you guys were able to hook up to.
Yeah.
And just and
everything about this year has been a dream. And I'm sure you feel the same way for the Royals.
Yeah.
Being able to work with them.
Absolutely. I mean, being able to play football over at Southwood County Stadium at Lincoln High School. And then the Assumption Gym is one of a kind. It's beautiful and small, rustic feel.
And then you can come here and see your brother's tooth mark.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. On the – what is that?
Well, they're talking about putting in a new floor.
Oh, they should give that.
Yeah, make sure give that to the family.
Give that piece to him, yeah.
You can just take it and give it to him.
Yeah, my uncle works here. He could when they're redoing.
Because I don't want to say it is his brother, right?
Yeah. Yep.
I want to make sure it wasn't just a cousin. And I got everything wrong. There's a little looper that's gonna just pop wide. That looked like it was going farther than it was.
You know what, Mike? I'm not gonna say anything because my
depth perception
for baseball is awful. So, like, there could be just a little pop-up into the infield.
It all depends on location. If there's a handball.
Yeah. I mean, at times there could be a pop-ups in the infield, and I think it's going to the warning track. I mean, just...
I've seen that a couple times. Oh, free kick. Goes right back out. Well, it's tougher when in any sport, whether it's baseball, softball, or soccer, when it's higher in the air.
Yeah, yep.
But I mean, I should know better because I still play baseball.
Offside's coming on Kendall.
Save made anyway. And that wasn't just offside.
Yeah, no, that was about 5 or 7 yards.
She caught it at the 10.
Yeah.
They marked it at the 29. When you're a quarter of the field offside, you're a little bit too far. But unfortunately, it's a little bit of a deep of an indirect kick this time. And so unless Tim Howard is now joining the team, you're not going to be scoring there.
And he started that game-winning goal for Landon. Landon Donovan going back to that. Again, appreciate everyone tuning in here. Got a great crowd watching online.
Absolutely. Bearing with a couple of guys as there's a shot to the side of the net. Dillman tried to go short side that time.
And all the oohs and ahs from the
and a very sheepish grin from Kendall. As she knows she had pretty much a sure goal there.
Yeah, and she probably will not come back out as Ashlyn Dolan checks in for the Royals. What another phenomenal night. Came in with 23 goals, I think.
You got the first one 51 seconds in.
She crawls off the field.
Trying to find a hole to hide in.
70 minutes of soccer for Kendall today. Obviously a 10-minute halftime, but playing that forward spot and running the whole time.
Hannah Wall trying to fly forward against Shaw, who's playing defense now.
Yeah. Yeah, Izzy Youngworth playing that far offensive side. Yeah.
Schulfer playing further back now as well.
Getting some of these others in. Haley Hintz for the Royals, number 20. Ashlyn Dolan, as mentioned.
And I will say, with the Royals, they've done a really good job limiting Amherst's game plan. Amherst's plan all year has been to use the wings, use the sideline as their help with, especially this right side with Sage Peterson. Assumptions has been really limiting that. They've been boxing her out toward the sideline further so that you can't get room.
Yeah, I think before that game, their first game, I think you had mentioned that is what they love to do, and obviously Assumption did a good job last time and even a better job here today.
Wall to Schulfer. Longtime teammates in pretty much every sport. Is still in play, far side. Nice job. And now it'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, Royals again against Melrose Mindoro. Their seating meeting's got to be probably tomorrow.
It has to be tomorrow.
Their playoffs start on the 31st.
And you got the things he means, and you go, all right, we're the one, right? Okay, see you guys later.
Well, that's we had talking of Bill Held. They had their seating meeting for baseball. He said his case he made in 13 seconds.
Well, yeah, there's not much of a case there to be made, especially in their region. Like, I understand, like, Pacelli to an extent because they had to deal with because Marion won that conference as well. But in Amherst, we're 21-0.
Yeah. And you'll, depending on how all things pan out, Mike will be heading up to
Crivets,
Mosquito Country on the 7th of June. It's always a fun.
We might have 3 teams in different sectionals that day.
4, but 2 of them are in the same one with Stratford. Stratford and Amherst in the same sectional.
Yeah, but because then we'll have Columbus or Edgar.
Columbus or Edgar, and then
Pacelli,
and I would. Yeah, I mean, on the synopsis that the conferences are the way they are, and that Central Wisconsin North is not as competitive as the South or the East.
Yeah,
Pacelli and Marion could be a very interesting regional final, and then sectional semi.
It'd be a regional final because they're in the same region.
Yeah. Yep. And then
because they're the 2.
Marion's 2.
Rochelt's the 4.
Yeah. And so then
I think Pittsville's the 3.
Pittsville and Assumption. Yeah, Assumption's 6. Port Edwards is 7 because Assumption beat Port Edwards.
Yeah.
But and then they would have to drive half hour to go over to the not even 20 minutes, 15 minutes to go over to the Rochelt Fairgrounds for their sectional.
Where they'd already played. Where they had already no-hit Rochelt.
Yeah, that's right.
They gave up 1 hit in 2 games against them this year.
Another corner coming for the Royals.
6.5 minutes or so to play. 7-0. Really a goal here. If they get this corner in, that could do it.
Yeah. Izzy Youngworth, is he not usually a corner kicker? We'll see. Raises her right hand.
I don't know. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that was right on mark.
And Amherst will clear back out and just launch over the top. Wall. We got a potential run here. Paige Bird chased down because Sarah Shaw is extremely fast.
Just muscles it away.
That kind of speed is not fair.
Addie Vollard now for the Royals.
It was like what I said before we went live today when I was covering baseball today, where Pacelli brought in Drew Kadrovich to get one out, and it was a guy hitting 120. I felt bad for him.
Hopefully see Drew quite a bit this summer in the
Black Sox
Legion. Hoping, and most likely will be covering 4 Legion teams this summer with the Plover Black Sox,
Sixers,
Stevens Point Sixers, Wisconsin Rapids Rangers, and the Marshfield Blue Devils. Even they're the Blue Devils, but their mascot is like the Tasmanian. I guess he is a devil, Tasmanian devil. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Sometimes you just have to talk through it.
And summers are always fun.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, and
especially when you get to whether it's club soccer or Legion baseball or softball, when you get multiple schools coming together.
Yep. Yeah. Now
or even spreading apart.
Yeah.
We've seen Pacelli have athletes play for both the Sixers and the Black Sox and have to play each other.
Yeah. And then obviously the Chaparrals in
Dairyland,
Marshfield, and now the new Wisconsin Rapids Redhawks.
Yeah, I'll be playing against them in a little bit.
Yeah.
This summer.
Yeah, all Legion and all adult league baseball. I mean, ish. A lot of these guys are high school, graduating high school.
Well, for Legion, yeah.
Yeah, and then all those games are going to be played at the new sports complex in Wisconsin Rapids.
There we go.
Oh,
as much as I like playing and like Witter, it's a tough place to.
Well, and it's
it's better for the Rafters too there too, so they don't have to try and schedule around and.
Yeah, and that's one tough thing that Legion had was having to play so many road games because they couldn't get reschedules because of the Rafters.
Well, it's like the talk also of like trying to get the state tournament to be double elimination.
Yeah.
You can only do so much when you have to schedule around the Timber Rattlers.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And that's why it's pretty sweet this year that for our Legion teams that their regional is at Athletic Park in Wausau, just absolutely beautiful. And the Woodchucks must be gone for a week or something. So.
Yeah, probably over in Minnesota for a little bit. For the Northwoods.
Another substitution coming in. 7-0 Royals.
There's just about 3 minutes left.
I don't think so.
Is that Kat Steinley? Steve?
Oh, did he? Oh.
Is that who checked in? Kat Steinley? 17?
Yes. Yep, Catherine Steinley. Catherine and Ashlyn Dolan, two of the multi-sports spring sport athletes on the – they were second-ranked Assumption Royals in softball. Won't be there this week after losing.
Well, again, it's something we talked about before we went live, that the rankings have been very iffy these past couple of weeks with how –
well, and the two teams that they lost to Oakfield, who's number 1 in the state in Division 5.
Yeah.
Then they lost to Gale Electric Trempealeau. So those are two very, very good teams.
It was, again, we covered the Columbus Catholic Dons. I was there today, and they lost to the number 1. They lost to Amherst, and they dropped 6 spots.
Yeah, that's not necessary. And, I mean, they were 1 out away from knocking off the number 1 team in the state. So, what, a division ahead
division up. And Amherst jumped in one because Aquinas lost to the Division I team.
Yeah, it just. Who knows? It doesn't matter.
Nope. Once you get that number in front of your seed for playoffs, that's what counts.
Yeah, get to Appleton or earn your spot.
Or Madison or Milwaukee, and depending on which sport.
Have you been to Uline Stadium in Milwaukee?
It's been a while.
Did you do a football game there for like the?
I don't think so. We went to Wauwatosa last year. Vinny and I did for. I can't remember the league's name anymore.
Yeah, we're.
It was the equivalent version of Northern Lights.
Oh, I gotcha.
But it also had an hour-and-a-half rain delay in that game.
Were you in the tornado game?
No, that was Cal and Trevor.
Cal and Trevor, yeah.
No, it was the same year, but a different league, and we had just lightning. Yeah, because they were at Subway.
Yeah.
As we approach the final minute of this one. No, it was Jason and I went a couple years ago, and it was in Fall River, and it was that day was great.
Yeah. Masonville Dairy postgame show. Coach Wendell's will have Morgan Reichel, Mally Steinley, Sarah Shaw.
You're going to get all three.
Put them all in the house. Yeah.
There you go.
Really talked to Morgan about really being tested a little bit at times today. Sure, at some of the games, she could just sit down and have a picnic. I mean, she just take a nap.
Do her homework.
Yeah.
Do some studying for finals. So we get the final 30 seconds. We'll get a late corner. It would be just mean if they mercy ruled with the final 10 seconds. As that's knocked down, still loose, still looking to get one through, battling around, top of the box, still in, and just too far. Well, that will be enough, and that will do it. We hit the final horn as this one is over. The final score tonight from Heartland Farms Field, it was the Royals of Assumption 7. The Amherst Falcons nothing. Stay tuned. Your Nasonville Dairy postgame show is coming up next. Steve is on his way down, and he'll talk to Coach Wendell's and a trio of Royals as they continue their undefeated season here on Zaleski Sports.
Nasonville Dairy, family owned and operated, bringing you fresh cheese curds made daily, along with many other varieties of Wisconsin-made cheeses and treats. Don't forget to check out our cheese and sausage trays for your upcoming parties and cheese and sausage gift packages for the holiday season or any other special occasion. Nasonville Dairy, located just southwest of Marshfield on US Highway 10, NasonvilleDairy.com.
All right, so we're here with Kim Hyman. Kim, Nasonville Dairy, 125 years in the making. Tell us about that.
You know, it's fantastic. It was the first plant built in Wood County back in 1885. Sal Nason and his family came here, and they started a small dairy plant. Eventually, that plant burnt down, but then they rebuilt onto this same facility, and our family moved here in the late 60s in 1968 and took it over from there, and it's been just a fantastic growth. Great community, great people we have working for us. Oh, it's an open market. It's huge. You know, the opportunity for the diversity in the cheese industry is fantastic, and you have to be that way in order to sell a lot of product. And so we've got a great group of people working on the research and development side for us. So it's been really fortunate for us. Oh, right. We have 185 farm families that market their milk through us here at Nasonville Dairy. And we are so lucky we have like the best dairy farms in not only in central Wisconsin, but in the United States, marketing milk through us. So we're just really fortunate on that side.
Actually, we started in 1968. Our father brought us here from another cheese plant in Wisconsin. We had come from the cheese business. We've always been in the business. We had moved around the state in different parts. He brought us here about that time. The plant ran 7,500 pounds of milk at that time, and now runs about 1.5 million a day. So. We originally started out with making cheddar, and now we make Cheddar, Colby, Monterey, Farmers Cheese, Pizza Cheese, Quesa Blanca, Quesa de Frio, Seco, Parma, Romano, Asiago, Fontina, Feta Caseri, Cafeteria, Cafla Graviera, as well as making some Gouda Edam and a little bit of Munster on occasion.
Back here from Heartland Farms Field with your Nasonville Dairy post-game show. So without further ado, we're going to send it over to Steve Mays, who's out on the field with Coach Wendels.
Welcome back to Heartland Farms Field here in Amherst as the Assumption Royals pick up a huge 7-0 win over the Amherst Falcons here with Assumption head coach Jim Wendels. Coach, a big game. You talked about it before the game, just getting out quickly, and just talk about the game tonight.
Oh yeah, whenever we play Amherst, we have to be technically strong, tactically strong, and we talked about getting an early lead and a quick jump on them because I always think that builds momentum, and the girls really answered that call and came out and got them first early goals, and that just built momentum for us. Really happy with how we're playing. We're really connecting with each other really well from defense all the way up through our forwards and making some great passes, threading the ball through their defense and scoring goals. So I'm really pleased with them, really proud of them.
Yeah, and just talk a little bit about that. Obviously, Kendall scored 51 seconds in the game,
Yeah,
but
right.
but then you guys came, and then Amherst tried to build a little bit of momentum on their offensive side. Morgan had a couple of big stops in the early part of that game. Just talk about being able to really withstand the pressure and the pushes that Amherst put on.
Yeah, no, in fact, yeah, Morgan's got their back in goal, and she's been doing really well. She made some brilliant saves today. And we play as a team. We got each other's back. When they're pushing hard, I have my D-mids like Clara Kubis and Mally Steinley. I don't know if you watch, but they'll drop back and help out defensively. They work so hard to help out defensively, and then we just build numbers up on attack after that. So, yeah.
Thanks, Coach. We'll see you
All right.
next week.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
you.
Yeah.
We'll bring you over our trifecta of Zaleski Sports players of the game here today. We'll start with Mally Steinley. Mally, a header on a corner. That one of the reasons I brought you over here today. Just talk about scoring that goal.
Oh, I've always dreamed of scoring a goal off of Kendall's corner kicks, and that's kind of been my goal all season, and I'm proud to have finally accomplished it.
And obviously a big conference when you guys wrapped up the conference last week, earlier this week, whatever it was, but able to come out here and beating another Amherst again this year. Just talk about getting the win tonight.
It just means everything. Coach has a bunch of tallies on his hand for our injured players, and then Coach Bingham, and we offer it all to them. Perfect. So.
All right, we're going to bring in Morgan Reichel. Morgan, obviously, you haven't really been tested a whole lot this year because of what your offense and your defense do to help you out. Just talk about the pushes that Amherst had early on in the game, able to make a couple of big stops.
Yeah, it was definitely helpful having our back four. They helped a lot. It was weird having them come so close. Obviously, I'm not used to it for so many games, but coaches prepared me and he made me confident. Had a good warm-up and I was ready.
And just talk about the confidence that you're able to have when Kendall scores a goal in the first minute and obviously your offense clicks as well as it does. Just the confidence that you have in the net that maybe one or two might squeak by, but obviously they haven't.
Yeah, I know. We got a great team, so I know we're always confident, like going into the games, and we can always pull out a win, hopefully.
All right, we'll bring in Sarah Shaw, our final interview here tonight. Sarah, obviously another phenomenal night on offense. You, Kendall, Mally, Kayla. Just talk about how awesome it has been, this offense clicking.
Yeah, we string together a few good passes, and then all we have to do is tap some in wide open shots.
I obviously talked to you during basketball. Your role as a freshman on this team, it's carried over to soccer now. Just talk about how awesome it is, undefeated now, still in soccer. Your role as well on this team.
Well, it's really helpful having upperclassmen here to help me out, show me what to do. Yeah.
I think we bully you to do it.
All right, we're gonna put you all in the house. Mally, you can hold on to that.
I don't want to do it.
You do whatever you want.
I'm Morgan Reichel. I'm Mally Steinley.
Okay.
Can you guys see Mike up there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
His hand up?
Okay. Wait, I'm sorry?
And we're in the house, yeah.
Okay.
And then you go.
Okay. I'm Morgan Reichel.
I'm Mally Steinley.
I'm Sarah Shaw.
And we're in the house.
Thanks, girls. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, we'll send it right back up to Mike. This is Steve Maves here from Heartland's Farms Field. Assumption wins 7-0. Mike will take it home for us here on Zaleski Sports.
All right, thank you for that, Steve, and a big thanks to the Royals for doing this post-game interview with us today as they take this one again 7-0. And that being said, we're going to wrap things up here on a still nice but a little bit chilly Friday evening here from Heartland Farms Field. Again, that has been your Nasonville Dairy post-game show. Nasonville Dairy, with their fresh cheese curds made daily. Head to Marshfield, head to Curtis, and of course head to NasonvilleDairy.com. For Steve Maves and for Katie Lecton, this is Mike Wetland saying so long, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And stay tuned. We'll have more Assumption and more Amherst athletics over the weeks to come as we get closer and closer to playoff time. Again, best of luck to all students getting ready to graduate over the next couple of weeks as well. And we'll talk to you next time for more Royal and Falcon athletics right here on Zaleski Sports. Enjoy your weekend, everybody, and good night.